Before I begin, be sure to like the video and leave a comment on what you think of it. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to keep up with further audiobook readings.
Chapter 2. Can I really have my own family bank? The Rockefellers have a family bank, but their circumstances and finances are dramatically different from, well, almost everybody's. Everybody wants to save money, everybody wants to make money, but most people are going about it the wrong way. Most people believe that you have to scrimp and save in order to make money. There's an idea that you have to shrink yourself to wealth, but it doesn't pay to be penny wise and pound foolish. Cutting back can actually cost you. If you let yourself get into a scarcity mindset, you'll miss out on opportunity. Saving yourself rich doesn't actually work. It is inarguably true that in order to get ahead, living within your means is sound advice. However, what most people don't realize is that they are not fully utilizing the means that they have. You are losing money, leaking it all over. Some of it's going to Uncle Sam, some of it's going to Wall Street, some of it's going to financial institutions and insurance companies. We want to show you how to become more efficient and put that money back in your pocket. You can recover your cash flow by rigging the game in your favor and putting your money to better use. How? By earning interest rather than paying it, bucking the banking system and cutting out the middleman, the bank, to become your own bank and creating a bank for your whole family for generations to come. Let's start with a tale of two families, the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts. If you take a look at the Forbes 400 list of the wealthiest families in the country today, you'll notice that the Rockefellers are still on that list. The Vanderbilts, on the other hand, are not. Why? Because the Rockefellers had a method to perpetuate and preserve wealth rather than just handing it down to each generation to start over again. The Rockefellers kept their wealth centralized, which allowed their family to become stronger. When most people die, their money just gets distributed and spent. Their wealth gets destroyed. But we know that you can preserve it, perpetuate it, and live prosperously along the way. The Rockefeller method is not about controlling everything from the grave. Rather, it is about giving successive generations parameters whereby they can tap into a family bank or even a board of people they can connect with who represent some of the knowledge you would have bestowed on that generation were you still alive. You can set up a trust that allows any descendant to use that money for an entrepreneurial program, a mastermind program, or a college education, for example. In order to access money, they would write a plan to the board of the trust saying, "I'd like to go to this college, and it costs this much money, and I'd like to borrow that money from the trust." It is, in essence, a family bank. The trust allows this loan due to the investment in education, the expansion of the individual's ability to create value and earn a living, but it is imperative for that individual to have a cash flow insurance policy that protects that trust. As soon as a beneficiary of the trust is born, the trust takes out a life insurance policy for the maximum amount of insurance a company will offer. That way, if the borrower never pays the money back, it's not detrimental to the survival of the trust. They have restrictions on how much they can borrow, and if they are not able to pay it back in full, the trust will be made whole again by the life insurance. And if or when they do pay it back, the interest on that loan is not getting paid back to the government or to a banking institution, but back into the family bank, keeping the family strong. You can set up a trust like this for experiences, for entrepreneurship, for any number of enterprises. Then you can set up a model so that people can only borrow a certain amount or even a specific amount of times, depending on the assets in the trust. and the board you set up can use something called a statement of purpose, an extended family mission statement, if you will, that will govern their decisions and make sure the money is put to good use. Garrett has a 51-page statement of purpose for his board. The board can help teach, educate, mentor, and support the family while also protecting your wealth. When it comes to saving, protecting, and growing your money, traditional banking is not your friend. First of all, banks pay atrociously low rates. As of the writing of this book, a typical savings account at a major bank will only pay you about a 1% return, and that's only if you deposit at least $100,000. Anything less than that, you may only get 0.05% back. CDs are much the same, only paying back 0.5 to 2%. Government savings bonds are only paying 0.6% at present. It's nearly impossible to find anything at all that will give you back more than 2%. Other investment vehicles like securities have eroding factors like management fees, which can be as high as 2%, plus there can be the taxes that you have to pay on earnings. To get any kind of decent rate through traditional banking, you have to lock away your money for a long time with no tax benefit. Not something you would expect the Rockefellers to do. Moreover, while we instinctively trust that banks are stable, we don't know that for sure, as recent history has shown. If things go wrong, banks rely on other troubled banks, and the whole thing can collapse. Utilizing traditional banks is, in fact, one of the most damaging things that you can do to your wealth. Taking a loan out from a financial institution puts you in a hole that you have to dig your way out of, and that is never easy. Even if you don't currently have a family bank or a trust fund that you can tap into, there are ways to pay interest back to yourself instead of paying mountains of interest to banking institutions on mortgage loans, credit cards, and student loans. Wouldn't you rather have a banking system that safeguards your wealth, grows your money, provides stability and predictability, and allows you to have access to your money? Well, you can, with a strategy and tool called cash flow insurance. Very simply put, cash flow insurance is overfunding a permanent life insurance policy in order to use the cash value as a savings vehicle and personal bank. This is obviously a very oversimplified definition, but we'll give great resources and depth for you in this book. When you have cash flow insurance, you retain control of your money instead of handing it over to a bank where they may or may not lend you money and you may or may not like the terms. You can access your money anytime, earn interest while borrowing, and enjoy tax advantages. Your highest rate of return will be something you control and that you can utilize for your purpose, your business, and your passion. In an ideal financial plan, you would be able to minimize risk and loss of money, minimize taxation on the money you accumulate, minimize taxation on the money you distribute, earn a rate of return on your money, have money available that you can use throughout your life, have contingencies for death, disability, emergencies, and unforeseen factors, have economic certainty, have a systematic flow of money into your plan, and have the flexibility to make changes to your plan. You can do all of this with a strategy that integrates cash flow insurance. It's easy to get a loan if you have good credit, good collateral, and good cash flow, but if one of those things is disrupted, then when it's time to get a loan, you are in trouble. When you utilize cash flow insurance, you no longer have to apply for a loan. You no longer have to use your credit to take out a loan. You don't have to fill out a whole bunch of paperwork. You don't have to deal with a whole slew of obstacles because you now have a system to access money inside your policy. It is your money that you can do with what you want. Moreover, you have flexible payback periods. You get to choose how much and when you're going to pay back the loan. If the loan is utilized for business purposes, you may even be able to write off the interest. You can start paying yourself interest instead of paying interest to the bank, and you can build up your legacy plan and Rockefeller Trust at the same time. So don't sit on money earning less than 1%. Instead, store your money where you can earn better interest or collect dividends along the way, and even earn interest when you finance things yourself. Moreover, you'll have a tax-favored situation just like a bank would have if they were the ones storing your money. This is crazy, you may be saying to yourself. Is this really possible? Can I really have all of this? Can I really be my own bank and set up a family bank for the future? We're here to tell you that you can, at least if you live in the United States or Canada. There is a way to create more liquidity, recover more cash, have much more predictability, and own the system rather than becoming part of a system you can't control. We call it cash flow insurance. Cash flow insurance is a new banking alternative that actually pays interest. It can create a structure to save on insurance costs from term life insurance, long-term care, or even taxes, and it can outperform the measly interest paid by the banks. You can save money in a permanent whole life insurance product and coordinate those savings with all of your money-making decisions. You can use your own money instead of a bank's money and set up a loan scenario where you are paying yourself interest instead of paying the financial institution. Whole life insurance products are often guaranteed at 4%, plus a possible dividend, minus the cost of the insurance. Depending on your age, your health, and how you fund them, you will be able to net 3.75% to 5.25% on every cash dollar you put into the policy, as long as it is structured properly. Then, when you want to access the money in your policy, you do so utilizing a policy loan feature. This feature is exclusive to this product. No other product offered by a financial institution offers for you to borrow their money up to the amount of money you have in your policy and not interrupt the exponential growth of your accumulating cash. You can save your cash in an area that is guaranteed, protected, and liquid to use for future money decisions that you will make anyway, but now you are the bank. You will hold onto significantly more of the money that is passing through your hands, which creates a very high rate of return. And in fact, banks themselves use cash flow techniques very similar to the ones we're going to discuss in this book. Why should banks get all the advantages? Instead, rig the system in your favor by doing the very same things banks do with your money when you hand it over. Basically, all you're doing is cutting out the middleman. When you put money in a bank, the bank puts a certain percentage of that money into life insurance as part of their reserve account. They do this because life insurance has tax favor and earns dividends that can lead to a higher interest rate than their other reserves. So why not just put money into life insurance yourself and tank the bank out of it altogether? Insurance companies have strict parameters on where they can invest the money in the general portfolio. They aren't allowed to invest it in anything too volatile, so they make more stable investments. In fact, insurance companies are the largest purchaser of long-term corporate debt issued by corporations. Moreover, if you want to borrow from your policy, all you have to do is make a phone call or send in a form. Both of us have had our policies overnight us a check, or wire us a check, or send a check by mail. Then, we choose when we want to pay it back. We can treat it just like any other automatic loan. We can choose when we want to pay extra, and choose when we don't. We never have to disclose that we took out a loan, so it won't affect our credit. It's the ideal loan. and the only requirements for getting the loan are that we have some cash in our policies to borrow, we can make a phone call, and we can sign a piece of paper. It's the easiest loan either of us has ever had to deal with. If you utilize cash flow insurance and get everything properly set up, you'll be able to pay for your kids' college, pay off debt, finance your home or car, start a business, have an emergency fund, and earn interest the whole time. Cash flow insurance is instrumental in creating economic independence. It will increase your clarity and peace of mind by allowing you to know rather than hope. When you know that your savings are stored securely where they will have a guaranteed rate of return, you can make your financial decisions, run your business, and plan your life in a different way than when you're just hoping. Then you can leverage that certainty in your planning in all other areas of your life. So do what the Rockefellers do. Make the choice to redirect the money you're currently saving and reallocate those dollars into your cash flow insurance system. This will allow you to have liquidity, savings, the death benefit, and the guarantees, and enable you to utilize your money along the way for future financial decisions, all while benefiting yourself instead of benefiting financial institutions. Guard against uncertainty and stop feeling so stressed about finances. Get into a financial position in which you are free to choose the path you enjoy most. Ensure that your great-great-great-grandkids know not only your name, but what your family stands for and how they can live the best lives they have to offer. Find your path to financial independence, perpetuate your wealth, preserve your values, protect your family, and change their destiny, all through the Rockefeller method and by utilizing cash flow insurance.